the settlements will clear up. It'll become clear water. But still nobody wants to drink any of it.
If it has the stuff in the bottom.
And this is when the DEP came to collect water.
They didn't want no coffee either.
Can imagine.
Now I can give you copies of the water samples. If you're, quite frankly, Atlas Energy had finally told me, well, we don't think it's our fault, we're not going to do nothing. So then I approached the attorney, and then all of a sudden, and plus I went to the EPA. Then Atlas calls me back and tells me, well, we'll get 3 estimates for a new well. I got one estimate, and the individual told me it's impossible in his thinking to get me a clean, safe drinking water in this area because the water tables has been contaminated. And he's saying it will take 20 years for it to clear itself up, to purify itself. I don't know. It's out of my field of expertise. But I guess city water 4/10 of a mile away. American Water wants $18,000 to bring it 4/10 of a mile down to my house. Atlas Energy was ordered by court to supply my neighbor with water. That was 2 years ago. They were court ordered them to run the city water to his house. They have been fighting it ever since in court. They every time they lose the case, they reappeal it. And it's simple. Mr. Zimmerman has more money that you won't hurt her. Mr. Zimmerman has more money than I do, and he can't afford to fight him in court all the time. And that's what Halliburton and Atlas Energy plans on. We have legal recourse, but we do not have, as individuals, we do not have the capability of fighting these people in court because they just keep dragging it on. They hire attorneys out of law school and gives them a slop sink area to as an office, and anything, just make their life miserable. Here's a case. Go make that individual's life miserable. And they do it just by appealing and appealing and appealing. Postpone this, postpone that. Mr. Zimmerman has been almost 2.5 years now just trying to get into a courtroom to get some of the things resolved. And like I said, these systems here, Atlas Energy won't even try to help me. Once they found out that I went to the EPA, they told me get estimates to get a new well drilled. I finally got 4, instead of 3, I went and got 4 estimates. They are all with better than 100 feet from my wellhead. And by the way, that's where my wellhead is, and under here. They feel that none of them will guarantee me a safe, clean drinking well. They said they may get water, but they can't guarantee the water will be safe to drink. This water is not safe to drink.
Have you noticed any health effects from the water while you were drinking it?
That's hard to say because my wife has a brain tumor and she has conditions that a health condition that just keeps going on. Myself, I was diagnosed before the drilling started. I have a terminal lung condition. So, for me to say I've noticed things, I can't say yet. We both suffer extreme headaches. Unexplainable. Now, I do have migraines, but these are not migraine headaches that I'm experiencing. My wife will just be sitting and blood will just ooze from her nose. I'm blaming the wellhead for that because we have two types of gas, methane and another type of gas. I can't name it.
Now here's pictures of the, who was that came and took their,
I can't
people
think.
from,
Atlas sent a company down to determine whether they were at fault or not. So they broke the seal on my wellhead. What I did, I took the pump out, took the lines out, put
You can
a
see it
plastic
pulling up.
liner in,
this is their,
like 2 feet down,
That's
and then
the
I
water
filled it
now.
with hydraulic set foam.
that's exactly
To
what it looks like.
Try to
right
keep
now.
the methane out. When they lifted this lid, their methane meter went off the chart. Okay? So the only way they agreed to work on here would be if leave that door open and this door open. And
You
they
can
left it
have
open
this,
for a
because
half
I have a
hour
copy of them.
before they left it there a half hour before they would do any more work in the wellhead. And they cracked the seal
But they're belling it straight
and
from the
pulled
well.
it out. And the methane, the minute they
Yeah,
cracked
I
the
have
seal, the
another copy
methane
of
meter went off again. So they had to step back and leave
Like I
it
said,
clear
you
up.
can see
Then after the fact, after they got
They're
all their
belling it so they
samples,
get
then they told me, they said,
pure
well,
samples.
they had their finger on the
That's
wrong
what it
meter.
looks
That's why the
exactly as
methane
it
meter
comes
went
out
off.
now.
I have my
Where
own
they started it.
methane
This
meter,
is
so I know how they
Where
work.
they're starting to fill out.
And it don't work that way.
Plus, I have them on my camera also.
But
So I can run them off again.
like I said,
But this is the water. that's-
I don't know what it's
And
going to
pure
come.
water.
Atlas said it wasn't their fault, and then when I turned it over to the EPA, they said, well, okay, we'll take another look at it.
From Cannonsburg.
After I got my
The lab, special lab from them.
4
They said
estimates,
this is safe to drink. now.
they called me and they said, well,
I'm not going to drink that.
we're going to do something else. We're investigating another avenue. And that's their
This company, this
tactic. They
state's
just
wrong,
keep
'cause I don't
stalling,
have a chance
putting
to
you
make
off,
it
putting
on
you
my
off, putting you off. And they know I don't have the money to fight
Huh?
them. You know, I don't have the money to go against Halliburton. And our government won't help
I
the
know
common
this-
people.
This thing
Our government is supporting the gas company in a roundabout way. And that doesn't sound right. I mean, I'm not knocking our government. I'm just saying that because of the laws that our government is going by, I have to have the money to sue Halliburton. And I want to know one citizen in this country has that kind of money. When that company can charge our government $1,000 for a hammer and get away with it, how can we fight them? Like I said, I have the dates when the water was taken and everything else.
I don't remember the name of this company that I can't.
Don't we have the report there down in Houston?
So, are these wells on your property or are they on neighbors' property?
Neighbor's property.
Have
I would not sign with the gas companies. I won't even let it. They wanted to put a high pressure line down through my property. It would have been within 20 feet of my house.
What the name?
They didn't bother to tell me what they wanted. You know, I just, from day one, well, I'll take that, not from day one. When they first started coming around, I was with Great Lakes Energy, and I did lease my farm to them. Well, Great Lakes released it for 5 years, and they did nothing except tie my property up. Then they wanted to tie it up again, and we're only talking a couple pennies a year. It wasn't worth it, so I told them no. Then Atlas, or Halliburton, took over Great Lakes, and they tried to get me to sign, and I refused. Okay. Range Resources wanted me to sign it. I refused. I've had to chase Range Resource off my property with a shotgun. They were driving steel pins in my yard in the middle of the night. I'd get up out of bed and they'd be down in my yard driving survey stakes in, using the flashlight to do it. You know, they got a GPS system and they're putting survey stakes in. Well, if I hit that with a riding mower, I'd lose my lawnmower. You know, so things like that. I just have ordered the gas company away. I don't want them on my property, and I don't want nothing from them. except to be put back where I was. And that's what I told Atlas Energy.